Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to create a simple login UI using Jetpack Compose. Along the way, you are going to learn how to manage state and customize UI element to suit your design. So as you can see here, we are going to create this using Jetpack Compose, and also we can try to navigate to different screens. As here we have two buttons, the sign in and sign up. For example, here you can just navigate to sign in, and this is going to take you to the sign in page. And as you can see here, we have text fields and other things. When you enter here, you can just try and just enter a username, and also here you can enter password, and you can check this box here, and also can click this button to navigate you to the dashboard. Now here, for example, also we have another page here. You can just click this button here, and it's going to take you to the sign up page here, and also you can use this. So we are going to learn how to manage the states and other things. And also in this video, we're just going to focus on the UI element part, and in the next video we're going to focus on Jetpack Compose navigation. So stay tuned. Let's get started. Okay, now we have navigated inside here under Studio, so we can start to build our project. First and foremost, we have to customize our application to suit our need, and we can do this using the UI, and we can navigate here the theme, and we can add here colors which we're going to use. So we are going to add here green and gold, which you can try and use them, and we can navigate here to shape. Also, we want to change the shape here because we want a rounded corner, so when we use our buttons and other things, so we are going to use around a corner of 30 dp, and we are changing this inside the material theme so that we can easily use them and easily change them, so we don't have to track back the code, and we can do these minor changes. So we can come here to this theme here, and we can try to change here, for example, our primary color. So here we can use the green which we have specified. Now, after that, we have here several colors which we want to override. So we are going to override the on primary. And we want to make this a white color. So after that, we are done here to customize our theme, so we can start to build our application. Okay, now let's navigate here to login UI and create a new content class or file. And then we're going to select this file here, and then we are going to call this log. Okay, now let's create here a new composable, and then this one we are going to call it login. After that, we are going to display here our navigation. For now, we are just going to display our pages here independently. For that case, now we can create another composable which is going to specify our landing page. So here we are going to call this landing. Okay, now we can start to create our landing page. So let's see, first our landing page, then we can start to code. As you can see here, our landing page has several text here and buttons, and also it has a background which has been drawn here, and there is no composable or an API can do this other than the canvas, and we can use this to display with other components using a box, and then we can draw from behind and then create our custom background. Now to do this, just let's navigate here to this landing page here, and then we can create here more room. Then after that, we can create here a box. Now, in order to draw this, as you can see here, if you don't know basics of this canvas, I have the video which is going to talk about this canvas in depth. You can find the video in the link in the cards above. So let's just navigate here. You can see we are going to draw this canvas to start from this point to this point, then we draw a curve to this point here, and then we close our path. Now to do this, we are going to use a simple path, and then we can draw it. So for this case here, let's create here a new variable, and then this variable we're going to call path, and then we want to insert here a path. Now after that, we could create here more room. So now we want to create here a path. Now inside this path we want to move to. So you want to start at the first edge, and the first edge is going to be 0f, 0f. So we are moving to the top edge. Now we want to draw around this to the left edge. So we are moving from this starting point here to this starting point here. So we know this point here is going to be the y, or the y axis is going to be 0, and the x axis is going to be the width. Now we could create here a variable, well, and then this one you're going to call x, and then there is a parameter or variable which is called size, so we could get the width. So this one represents the x value. So I like to use this so that I cannot get confused. And here I can keep in size. Let's hate. This one is going to represent the y value. Now, after that, here also we could create another variable which is called center. Then we could access this by using size.center. And here now we have all our values. We could come here and create a line 2. Now we want to move from this point here to this point here. Then we know that this point here is going to be 0. The y-axis is going to be 0. And the x-axis is going to be the whole width. Now for that case here, we can input here our x-axis. We could use x. And here we could keep 0f. Now we have moved to that point. Now we want to create this curvature here, this curve here. And to do that, there is one method which is called cubic2, which uses control points in order to draw this line. Now to do that, we could use this cubic2. And then inside here now we could pass the points. So it accepts 3 points. If you come here and hover around and press Ctrl Q, you can see that there are several points which you have to specify. The X1, Y1 and X2, Y2 are control points, and X3 and X4 is the destination point. So it's going to start from the first point to draw this toward this another point, and using these control points to draw the curve. Now for our case here, we have our first control point, and we are going to keep this control point to the same position. So we want to position these control points at the left edge, at the right edge here, in order to keep it. We want to achieve this perfect curve here. So for that, we are going to align all of them inside this path here. Now let's start here to specify our first x1. And here x1, we want to get it the full width, which is going to be x. Now we want to achieve here y1, which is going to be the center. So we want to get the center of y. So this one is going to be divided by 2. So this one is going to be the first control point. Now you have to specify the second control point. And here we are going to specify as x. Okay, now here we are going to specify y2, and then we are going to use the center, well, dot y. So our two control points here are complete. So we will have here our first control point and our second control point. Now we have to specify the last point, which is going to be the middle. So in order to do this, now we can specify here our last point. So this one is going to be the destination point, which is going to be 0f. Then we have to specify the y3. And this one is going to be a center to try. So basically here we are going to the center or at the middle of the canvas. Now after that case, we are going to be completing here to create our path. And after that, we have to use just draw path here in order to draw this. Okay, now we have completed to create here background. Now we have to create the text and buttons. Now to do this, we can just jump inside the box scope and start to code inside there. So now inside here, we can create more room so that you can work with. So we're going to create here a column. Now for this case here, we have to create our first text. So we are going to use here style in order to style our text. So we are going to use the material key. Then we are going to override the font size, and here we want this to be SATA SP. And we can try to import this. Also here we can create another text which is going to welcome the user. So also this text, we want them to be accepting the primary color. So we are going to give them the color, and then we are going to use the material theme. And also we have to add this inside here. Well, and for that case, we can add here a font size. Okay, now we have to finish to create here, and also we have to add a vector drawable. So we are going to use the image here, and we can use a painter resource. And here it's going to get us an ID, so we can use here the drawable. And we want this to be 34 dp. Now for that case, we have finished to create our first part, and we have used the column in order to arrange these in a column format. Now what we have to do is to create the two patterns which are going to be accessing us to the sign in and sign up. Now let's just come here below this and collapse this one here. So we have finished to create this column here, and then we can create here a new column. Okay, now let's create here another column which is going to help us to align these buttons. So you have to pass in here a modifier. And we want this modifier to fill max size. Now, after this one, we can try to wrap this modifier. Okay, now what we want here, we want to wrap content size. And after that, we can put the alignment. So that you can get more room here. Now, after we create that padding here, now we can create our buttons. So we can use a generic button, which provided by Jetpack Compose. And now here we can create and pass in here modifier. Okay, now we are going to fill the max width, and what we want this shape to be a rounded form. For our case now, it's going to be having a square. So what we have to do, there is different ways. You can try to use a modifier and click that with a certain shape, or you can use a shape which has been provided here. So there is this method here or parameter which you can try and pass in here a shape. So for our case, you're going to use the material theme, and we are going to make this using the medium, so it's going to give us that rounded corner. So after that, here we can keep here a text. And this one is going to be sign. So after that, we have been creating our first text, our first button. Now what we have to do here, we're going to copy this, and then we're going to paste it also here. Now we can try to create here a spacer. And for example, here we can keep this to 16 dp. So creating a room between these two buttons. And also here we have to change this to sign up. And we said that we want also this button to be white. So what we can do here is change the color. So we can use this button default. And we can override the button colors. And this one is going to override several things here, so we can try just to remove this. And we have this button colors, and here we can easily customize our background color. So for example, here we can call this background color here, and we can use the material theme. And here the background color, which is going to be white. So we have used that. Now for our case here, we have completed to create here our application. So what we can try and do here, we can try to create a preview function. So let's create here a preview. Okay, now our preview has finished. And as you can see here, we have our preview, but we have forgotten to add the theme. So we have to come here to this preview here, and then we can use this login UI theme. And inside here now we can paste this so that it can use that theme. And also here, this preview here, we can set the background to true. What also we have to do is to add here a little bit of padding. And here we can use a spacer. And here we can provide, for example, a size of 16 dp to give this more room and differentiate from these. And also here we can try to add a background color. Well, what we can do here now, we can try, yes, to we can try to wrap all of these inside the surface so that you can provide a background color. And that is just a good way to provide a background color. So for example, if you want to surround this with something, so you want to surround this with surface, you can press Ctrl Alt J. So it's going to bring up this template here, and then we want to surround this with surface. And then it's going to do automatically and it surround this with the surface. Now what we want here, we want to pass in a material theme. And we want to use primary variant here to be our background color. Well, now I think we are done, and we can try again to rebuild our project and see. Okay, now our preview has finished, and as you can see here, we have as how we did firstly, but when you come here and you can see this text here is not bold enough, so we can try and navigate up here. So we can just close this, and then we can come to this text here, and you can try to change this inside the type here, or you can just come here directly and provide. So we are going to provide here another font weight. So we want to make this bold. And now let's just try to rebuild here and see. Okay, now as you can see here now, our text here is more bold, and now we can focus to create other things. So let's just skip this. And as you can see here now, we have all of our text, and we have created this curved background and our buttons here. Now we want to click this button and navigate to another screen. So for now, we are just going to create that screen, and that screen is going to be, let's just navigate here to this sign in here and see what's going to be. So as you can see here, we have a login page, and this login page has two buttons, and also we have this checkbox and other things. So let's just create this inside Android Studio. So for now, let's leave it here. See you in the next video.